Welcome to the For Purpose podcast. In this, we invite leaders who are driving for purpose organizations and are driven by purpose. And we try to, in this podcast, the objective is to have conversation around purpose across individual and organizational. And today we have Merissa with us. Hi, Merissa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thank you. And thanks for joining us today. And before we go deep into purpose, could you just give your background briefly and link it back to your individual purpose?
It's a really tricky one. So I'm Merissa. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Association for Services to Torture and Trauma Survivors. I have been working in the not-for-profit sector for 20 to 30 years. I've kind of lost track. I started off life as a photographer and a fine artist, and realised that while I love visual communications, I was missing something around interacting with people and supporting people. So when I went and studied psychology on my half a day off a week, I realised that I actually had quite a passion for people and for mental health, and in particular working with people who were vulnerable and who maybe didn't have the same opportunities as others. I myself had quite a challenging childhood upbringing. My mum had cancer and was very unwell when I was very young and passed away when I was 11, and lots of things unfolded in life because of that. And I ended up taking responsibility for my younger sibling and looked after the family and tried to keep things together. And eventually when my dad remarried, I had a very difficult relationship and ended up leaving home and being homeless at, just after finishing high school. So I was really lucky. I had some people in my life who could help me connect with services and supports to be safe and well. Even though I was couch surfing, I had those people who could help me. And I think as I got older, I realised that I was in a really unique position, that other people maybe didn't have that. They didn't have that resilience or the connections or the ability to navigate systems in the same way. And I realised that I had a responsibility to play a part in supporting people who didn't have that, to be able to navigate systems and get the things that they needed in life. So I kind of see my purpose as, I see myself as a servant leader. My job is to serve the people we support and the staff that I support, to be the best that they can be, to be resilient and strong, and to help them be empowered in their own lives.
I can see that in your personal life and work experience, you're bringing that serving others very strongly. And how does that individual purpose of serving others have come to play when you are working with varied of organizations? We started working across sectors and across public sector and not-for-profits. So how does that play?
It's a really interesting question. I don't have the typical mindset a lot of people do around, this is the career trajectory that I want to have. I've kind of looked at the world in a different way, and maybe this is my fine art background, where doors open and doors close and opportunities arise, and you keep yourself open to things that are happening. Through that process of doors opening and closing, I kind of realised that my brain works a little bit differently to others. I absorb information in a different way. I see connections in a different way than others do. And when I was working at NDS, at the peak for not-for-profits, I realised that there was limitations to the work I could do in consultation and in supporting sector development.